In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take a Word file and use its contents to create a PowerPoint presentation. In front of you, you are looking at a OneDrive account that belongs to me. And within this account, I have a folder called My Files. And within that, there's another folder called Word for PowerPoint, which is a name I've chosen. And here you can see it's got a file called Machine Code Notes. Now, these are some notes that I've got on machine code programming. Of course, this could be any topic. It just so happens that's the one I've decided to use for this video. Let's have a look what's in this file. So I will click onto here and you'll see another tab is opened and it will load up the content of the file. And you can see it appears here. I've zoomed into the file so you can more easily see its contents, and you can note here that it's got the heading machine code and below there's text on machine code. I'll scroll down and you can now see it's got another heading assembly language, and below that there is text associated with assembly language. Carrying on, you can see there's another heading, comparison of assembly language and machine code, with the text appearing below. Let's now go and look at all of the other headings. And if I scroll down, you should see here it's got information on a compiler. Going down again, there's information on an interpreter. And I'll go further down and you can see here it says comparison of compiler and interpreter. If I continue looking down the file, you can see that's it. That's the content of the Word file. So far in this video, you've been looking at my OneDrive in the browser. Off video, I clicked onto here where it says OneDrive and then relocated this Word file in this directory. This will ensure when I now click on these three dots, this drop-down menu will appear, and you can see here it says copy link. So I will click onto that and wait, and it will come back and inform me that the link has been copied. So the link is now available for me to paste anywhere I like. We now turn our attention to PowerPoint, and you can see I've opened a new PowerPoint presentation. I will now click on to Copilot and wait for it to load. It is now a case of entering an appropriate prompt into here. Now you can see I've typed in create a presentation from. Now the from is going to be the Word document. So I will now paste the link that I copied a moment ago from OneDrive immediately after what I've just typed in. So I've used Control V to do the pasting. Now I will click here and let's see what happens. It says working on a response for you, finding your file, drafting a presentation, and we'll just watch to see what is produced. Saying generating slides. It's now saying it's adding speaker notes. It's looking things over. Almost there. And then it produces the PowerPoint slides. I will now run the PowerPoint presentation and let's see what it's produced. Well, it's saying understanding machine code and related concepts. We'll go on to the next slide. It's showing an agenda and it's showing all of the things that he intends to put into the presentation, starting with an introduction to machine code, ending up on a comparison of compilers and interpreters. If I go on to the next slide, you can see it's put an image in, it's put a title here, and it's put appropriate bullet points here. Now I'll quickly go through so we can look at all of the slides in turn, and you can see that it has produced quite a lot of information here. Quite a bit has been taken from the Word file, but it's also added things that it feels is appropriate. Now, of course, As I go through this, at the back of my mind, I will be saying, well, I need to edit this now. To start with, I don't like the color scheme, so I might change that. If I'm looking at the fonts that are in front of me, as I go through, they seem to be relatively consistent, as you can see. However, sometimes what they produce is smaller fonts in certain slides. And also, you may feel that the text isn't big enough, in which case you can perform the editing that you would normally do with PowerPoint. The thing is, however, if you think about what's happened, you've got notes on a topic and you've asked it to produce a PowerPoint slide for you, and now you simply have to edit it. And it has done this very efficiently. You just have to make sure now that there's no mistakes in the PowerPoint slides. I'll go through to the end and you can see it's pretty consistent. If I stop on this slide, I think this text here is a little small. I might edit that appropriately. And you can carry on looking at all of the other slides, and we will eventually get to the end, and you can see it's produced a lot of slides for us, and then we come to the end of the slideshow. Now I'm going to shut down Copilot by clicking here, and then I'm going to click on Design Suggestions, and it'll produce some designs that I might prefer to the ones that it's actually produced here. So for example, I could click on this one, and you can see that this slide has altered appropriately. And it's a question now of me going through each of the slides, reading them, making sure that they make sense, and where appropriate, changing the font size and possibly putting in better images to reflect what the slide is about. A lot of the spade work has been done here for me. I've got the notes. I say, right, for these notes, produce me a PowerPoint presentation. And it does it, I think it was less than a minute it did all this.